we are going to make our mark starting with a dot, adding a dot of paint to your palette. You really don't need a lot, just a dot of paint. We are going to paint using watercolor paint. And you are going to paint tiny little splashes or dots of color. So you're going to add a lot of water to your paper. Now the nice thing about watercolor paper is that it doesn't soak up the water as much, but it also lets it sit there. So when you add the paint, you'll see the cool effect that it makes when you add the splashes of paint. So don't be scared to add a lot of water. Just watch carefully. As per my example, I'm adding with the brush, so I'm not throwing or pouring the water on there, but in a circular motion, I am creating a circle. And you can add text or a Bible verse related to our theme or our topic, making our mark. And then take another brush, a smaller brush, a pointed brush, and again dip it into the water and then loosen up the paint. So the watercolor paint can also be runny, so you have a nice fluid liquid to make those splashes of color in the water dot that you created before. In this color palette, I'm using analogous colors or cool colors. They're colors next to each other on the color wheel, so they blend well together. My cool colors are blue, purple, and green, and they just so happen to be analogous colors that are neighbors. Have fun and just create dots of color. Now in the next example, I'm going to write the Bible verse, not write it out, just the reference. So Psalm 139, the same one I had before. I was beautifully and wonderfully made, woven in my mother's womb. We know the Bible verse, and it's a really beautiful verse. I really encourage you to read the entire psalm because context is key. This verse is often taken out of context, but nonetheless, it fits in well with our theme. So this time, I'm going to add a circle around the verse, and so I'm not going to add paint everywhere. So this is a fun one. Have a look. I'm going to speed up the video so you can see how I make a lot of color dots around my text. You can play around with it, add more water if needs be, so you really get that flowy effect. It makes it so cool, and because you added the water first in a circular motion, if you pick up the paper, it's not going to smudge over that line that you have. Here's another option. I'm just giving you lots of ideas, but feel free to create however you would like to create your dot, make your mark. Now you can just make random dots and splashes of colors like this example I have here. Leave it to dry while you create more. And then at the end when it's dry, watercolor paint dries fairly quickly. Then you can add doodles like adding crosses or drawings that are also related to our theme. Have fun.